Introduction.
各位我所尊敬的城市大学的教授们，还有
And
各位年
respected
轻朋友
professors
们
of City University and all of you
下午好。
young friends
希
here, a
望
very
你
good
平安。
afternoon to all
谢
of
谢。
you. I wish you all peace.
我现在站在这里，
So here I
看到
am
各位年轻的朋友，我仿佛
in
看
front
到
of all of you. I
陈炳今
actually
年25岁，
am seeing a slate group
以
myself.
生命来说，
And a slate group is now in its
应该是春天。
54th year. And in terms of
可惜
life,
我今年65岁，
actually my group is only in springtime.
以生命来说，
Unfortunately, I'm 65 years old now. And so in terms of human life, I'm already in autumn.
今天我进城市大学的时候，
And when I first arrived at City University today, I suddenly thought of something.
听说以前
I heard
有
that
一位德国的哲学家
there used to be a German philosopher
去
who
当访问学者，
was going to be a visiting professor at Beijing University. And this German philosopher,
德国的哲
Fact
学
that
应该是举世有名的。
German philosophy was
他们有
supposed to be
康
world
德、
known.
黑格尔，
And they've got
有尼
Kant,
采，
and they've got
所以他
Nietzsche,
充满了信心，
and so on and so forth. And so he was very confident
北大去一展身手。
about his tenure with Beijing University as a professor in
到了
philosophy.
北大门口，
When he arrived at the doorstep of Beijing
北
University,
大门口的保安人员
the security officer
问了他3个问题：
there asked him 3
你
questions.
是谁？
Who are you?
你从哪里来？
Where are you from?
你要到哪里去？
Where are you going to?
这个德国的哲学家说：
And
哇
this German philosophy
北京
said,
大学的一个保安
oh dear,
都可以
a
问出这么深奥的哲学，
Beijing University security officer managed to ask
所
such
以他
profound
就
questions.
听说在北大的校门口蹲了3天3夜，
And so
百
he
思不解啊。
was stuck at the Beijing University doorstep for 3 days and 3 nights, and he failed to really sort it out. How come a security officer at a university was able to ask such profound and poignant questions? Fortunately, I did not encounter such an incident when I arrived at City University today. And life actually is very amazing. I myself have encountered so many events and so many happenings which were totally beyond my control and which were not planned for myself.
我不敢享有的财富，
When I was 33,
就瞬间在几年间
all of a
累积
sudden,
了为数可观的，因为我去买了
I
很
came
多不动
upon
产
a very large fortune, and that's all because of my investment in real estate
坦白
market.
说，那种
And so
钱
within the short
我自己
space of a
觉
few
得
years, I
很
became
心
very, very
虚
wealthy.
因为那个跟我自己的
And actually,
努
such
力
fortune
是很不相称的。
was very humbling because I really did not work very hard to earn that fortune and that wealth, and so I felt a little bit guilty about that.
同一个年代，我不想要的，
And
上天也给了我，
so it wasn't something that I
不
asked
是说
for
我
and that I
有先
actively
天性的
pursued, but the
麻烦症候群，一直到今天，
my fate gave it to me anyway.
从
Anyway
1989、2000年跟2006年在香港
And
的这个玛丽皇后医院，
in the year 2000 and the year
我是被开过心的。
2006, I received 2 operations at Queen Mary's Hospital in Hong Kong. And young
不
friends,
是我要
I
的，
myself have undergone 2 heart operations. And once again, these are not things that I
所以
have asked for, but the heavens gave them to me anyway.
现在自己想起来，
So if I look back on
在
these events
1980到1980到1990年，
between 1980 and 1990, within this particular
是我
decade,
生命里一个非常重要的转折。
my life encountered a very, very important turning
经营
point.
事业的人都希望他的事业
For
是
someone
可
who is
以
running a business,
生存，
of course, his wish would be for his business to continue to survive and
再
thrive
提出的话，他可
and to
以
get
当
ahead
成
of
是
his
这个产
competition.
业
And
的领袖。
so that he would become the leader of the pack and the leader in his field, and he would become the beacon for his entire trade and industry. So I was thinking, when it comes to life, maybe everyone has to go through 3 stages. First of all, you have to aim at basic survival. You have to secure basic survival through sufficient supplies of materialistic stuff. After you have secured survival, then the next thing that you would want would be quality in life. And you want to have a good aura, a good understanding of culture and arts, and a good appreciation of culture and arts. So that's the kind of aura that a person carries about him. So that's the second stage. And then the third stage would be values. And values are about the spiritual realm. And I'm very happy that between the age of 30 and 40, all of these 3 subjects and 3 motives have always been on my mind. And when I was still studying as a student, I was really very irresponsible. I didn't study very hard at all. But when I was working as an adult, I became very hardworking because I knew that I was no longer young. I couldn't throw my life away anymore. So between 1980 and 1990, during these 10 years, I started reading books in literature as well as in philosophy. And my major was mechanical engineering, mind you. And so it was a subject in science, a subject in technology. And so I studied that. I got into that because I wanted to secure a good living. I wanted to secure a good work career, as Professor Zhang has very pointedly pointed out. Steve Jobs has written in his book that if someone is fortunate enough, he should very attentively listen to his own inner voice, because this inner voice is given to you by heaven, and this probably is something that already existed when you were born. Young students, please believe me when I say that you shouldn't blindly believe in knowledge. And knowledge can become outdated very soon, maybe after 1 or 2 years. I'm not saying that knowledge is not important. Not at all. Knowledge may be very important for the time being, and may be very important to your work, and very important to your social life and many other aspects of life for the time being. But there are many things that are more important than knowledge. And one of them being to understand yourself and to understand life. Please bear with me. Maybe my genetic makeup is such that I'm a very serious person most of the times. And to be frank, if life becomes too lighthearted, I would find it very boring. I know that there is only so much I can do, and there is only so much I can achieve, but you only live once. If I'm able to survive and weather certain challenges and adversities, then when I emerge from these, I hope that I become a better person. So, whenever I make a choice, I usually do not choose something I'm best at, but I choose something that I really enjoy and I really like. And so I listen to my inner voice most of the times. And today, I would like to put it to you that for me, definition for life is as follows. A person's whole life is actually the process of unending thinking and unending pondering. If you think, you exist. Now, when you are old or more mature, your experiences and your feelings will become much different than those when you were young. And so when you ask the same question, when you are asked the same question, your answers will be different when you are old than when you are young. And also, I put it to you that the definition of life is that it is consisting of a whole series of decision makings. It is my belief that the world exists for you to have direct experience in. And say, a writer in literature describes that a certain glass of water is steam hot, but you never exactly know how hot it is or feel how hot it is until you have actually directly experienced how hot that glass of water is. And life experience is very, very important, even though it is different to each and every one of you. And fourthly, I think life is a series of choice. And when you think, and when you ponder, and when you decide, when you make a choice, then it will become part of your life. And when you make a choice, of course, it all comes down to your own personality, your character, and your value system. And so each person is different than the next. And then I also put it to you that life is also a whole series of creations. Actually, I would have wanted to use the word actions. Now, when you think, you will come to a decision, and when you decide, you come to a choice, and when you choose, you will act on it, or you make a creation out of it. So you continue to make such choices and decisions, and also do such actions, and then those will comprise your life. And so a person will go through all these stages, and first of all he will want to survive, and then he will want to excel, and then he will want to be the leader of the pack, and so on and so forth. I myself have asked a psychologist about how to define life. And so this psychologist was saying that when he was very young, he read a great literature work, say Oliver Twist, or Tales of Two Cities. And so first of all, when he was very young, he thought that it was fiction. And then when he became a very famous professor, many years later, he read A Tale of Two Cities again. And then he concluded that A Tale of Two Cities actually is not only about a story, about fiction, but actually it is philosophy. And it tells you how to run yourself, and how to run your family, and how to run the country, and so on and so forth. I myself have not been very well read, but I want to let you know that what you read is one thing. Frankly, it could be important and it could be not important at the same time. My personal experience is that what is more important is that you have to have a very creative angle when you read a book, so that what you get out of the same book that others also read, it will be very different and very special. And most of the people, when they read, they focus on the substance and content of the book, but at the same time they also respond to that substance and content, and so it's actually a reflection of themselves. And so through reading, you will understand yourselves, and you understand what you feel about certain things, what's your attitude towards certain subjects, and what's your outlook of life is. Why I said that?
其实在30岁左右的时候，
It's because around 30,
应该是企业管理方面的书。
I read a book that
我
was
记得
about
当时这个零基预
corporate
算
management
是美国的海军所发展出来的一个，就是商学系的书，
and
就是事业在做计划。 或者不管
the
是政府部门
corporate
或者
management
民
book
间
said
的
that
企业，
when
在
a
做新
civilian
的年度计划的
corporation
时
or
候，
when
最
a
好是把
government
它归零。
organization was trying to plan for a whole year business strategy, it would be best if the organization or the corporation gone right back to zero, gone back to scratch, or start from scratch. So that's what the corporate management book was trying to share with me. When I was 30, I really didn't understand myself. I had a lot of doubts about myself and my abilities. And
我当下的感受是，那我为什么不把我的生命归零？
when I read this book, my first thought was that why didn't I start my life from scratch again? I really had to forget how old I was, and I really had to forget that I graduated from a mechanical engineering faculty.
从归零开始，就是刚刚那位北大的保安人员问的。
So it's like the question that was being asked by the Beijing University security officer. Where are you going to? Where do you want to go to?
朋友们最关心
All of you young
是你要到哪
friends
里
here
去？
are, of course, concerned about where you are heading towards. And yesterday is already in the past. And of course, the present is something that you really have to make the best of. But I think the most valuable part of your life is what it has in future. And there are many young scholars as well as young experts have done a lot of work in order to lay out the future trends and also future projections and so on and so forth. But on the back of my limited experiences, I just want to tell you that the future actually is for you to create something in. I all along have felt that life is about creating value out of something, no matter who you are. You may be a taxi driver, or you may be another line of work, it doesn't really matter. In life, you definitely will run into something which would give you pain or suffering. It could be adversity, it could be poverty, it could be diseases. But as long as you can take all of such negative elements in life and then create value out of them, create something positive out of them, then you'll be a winner in life. What I'm trying to say is that no matter how powerful you are, how wealthy you are, and how knowledgeable you are, if you have a positive outlook on life, or in Buddhist lingo, you have a negative or a positive cognition towards the world, then you have positive pattern of behavior in life. And Peter Drucker, a philosopher, says that you should do the right things and you should think the right things. So whether you're in business sector or you're in philosophy or where you're in the business of thinking and research in logic, you really have to hold on to this outlook on life. Today, I have prepared something that I'm afraid is a little bit serious, for your taste. But before I go into that, I just want to respond to what Professor Zhang said earlier on. I think the biggest worry that I have for our young generation is the side effects of technological advances, and these technological advances have brought about too many conveniences and too many fragmented and piecemeal information, and they actually are harmful to our young generation, and they really degrade young people's ability to think, and also degrade young people's ability to discern and to choose. Now you have to really have the capability to filter off frivolous and misleading information, and you shouldn't be excessively influenced by a lot of misinformation. I myself am kind of a dinosaur here because I don't even have a smartphone. I'd rather be alone. I'd rather spend time with myself than spending time on a smartphone. I believe that human beings are really at the top of evolution on Earth, and very often we really chase something that is not worthy. And we should have spent the time on something that is much more worthy, and that is understanding ourselves. And sometimes we try to pursue a lot of knowledge of the world, of others, and so on and so forth, but we forget that actually we should start understanding ourselves. We should start pursuing knowledge on ourselves. And so I hope that you wouldn't be fallen into such a pitfall in making the wrong choices. So for these questions here, or for the issues here, I myself do not boast that I've got the answers. I'm just trying to share with you my very shallow and personal experiences. For me, reading, the asleep group, my illness, are the three major components of my life so far.